That was awesome.
So I just want to open up the interview to talk about Saigon Kick. It's just simply, when is Love actually going to get here?
Is there an ETA? I heard it's on the way.
It's first of all, how long will it be before a sub shop like Jimmy John's or Subway uses it as lunch is on the way?
Sure, 10 minutes.
Right. I mean, we can give it time.
Okay.
Love never arrives, but the royalty checks do.
Damn straight. Nice. All right.
When you're shooting that video, were you pleased by the performances of the drummer and bass player?
We knew that we didn't want them holding a candle or a lighter and waving it back and forth. That had seemed like it had been a little bit derivative.
Yeah.
They were, as harem girls, as I like to think of them all, they were fantastic.
How did they actually feel about that? Was there any kind of like conversation like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
We were blissfully ignorant
Okay.
making that record, and nor did we sit down thinking this is going to be a big hit and watch what's going to happen, and you're going to hate doing the video for this mega big song. We always made just whatever we wanted to make record-wise.
Right.
So I don't know how familiar you are with like the first records, but they're always pretty left and right, and had punk stuff and heavy stuff and avant-garde stuff and pop stuff, and so it was just what we did. The same balance of record was on the first record as was on the second record.
Sure.
Now, you guys have gone back and played shows in the last few years together, but not that long ago, there was some pretty bad blood between everybody. I know Matt Kramer had some, let's just say not kind words to say about you, same with the drummer, Phil. How did that reconcile, or do you guys say, we're not talking to each other, we're just taking a paycheck?
They realized they were wrong and I was right.
That's the perfect answer.
No, we still don't get along.
Yeah.
And, I'm just of the opinion, like me sitting here tearing people apart, been done, boring, no one cares. I don't care. So I can't imagine anybody else would want to hear me gripe about interband squabbles. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, I've been in bands myself. They're typically not as interesting as people probably think.
No.
I
am, of course, but the band,
right.
The band, no.
But the fights, the drama is actually very typical, standard, run-of-the-mill shit.
It's so stupid that it's not even like a really fantastic argument, like where, he took my Swiss bank account and ran off with my model wife, and then he took my yacht and crashed it into my Porsche. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. The same dumb arguments I guess everybody in the world has at any job, except it tends to get a little more amplified.
So, but you guys actually still don't really get along that well then, or?
Not in the slightest.
I got a question.
I love that.
Florida. So I lived there for 10 years, and are you guys from Tampa, or where are you from?
The Miami, Fort Lauderdale area?
Okay, so that's right there. I was closer there, like West Palm. But I guess my question there is that like Florida, you don't hear of that many rock bands coming from Florida overall. Right? Was that difficult, like music scene wise? Because when I lived there, it killed me because, as you know, probably not that many bands come all the way down south or on tour. So I just want to know kind of maybe some of the challenges coming up in that area.
I've learned to see it as kind of a blessing because we were able to develop in South Florida and not in LA and not in New York, where there's 8 million bands doing, ambient Norwegian punk. And there's a whole scene. And they're all rehearsing next to each other, and they all hear what each other's doing.
Sure.
Or in LA, the metal scene at the time, or, we were kind of on our own. And Florida's really had some unique. You look at Florida, you have Miami Sound Machine, Marilyn Manson.
That's true. Marilyn's from there.
Tom
Forget
Petty.
about that one. Yep.
So a lot of really Death, out of Tampa. So you get a lot of real Sabotage. So it was really weird diversity of unique bands that came out of there, and I think that's partially because you weren't as inundated. Like in LA, there was floors of metal bands. Like I don't know if they organized them by year or whatever, but all rehearsing, all at the same shows, all playing the same.
That's
all
kind of
shopping at the same thing.
Right.
So I think there's a negative to that as well as a positive.
Sure. Yeah. No, just curious because it doesn't seem to be that much of a rock scene when I was there for last.
I don't think there. Florida's like the same way with sports.
Yeah.
If you're winning, they're into it.
That's great. And if not, they're out because
no one cares.
Because there's so much other crap going on. I guess
and no one's from there.
That is correct. No, I was. Yeah. Are you from there?
No, I'm from New York originally.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was there for 10 years, and anyway.
I'm a massive hockey fan.
Okay.
And I've adopted the Florida Panthers as my team.
Sure.
But I mean, you have a Rangers come to town. That place is full of Rangers fans, or Pittsburgh, or any other city.
Yep.
It's because no one's.
It's brilliant to put a sports team in Vegas because it's a destination for all the other fans of other teams.
Absolutely.
It's going to screw the home team, but I know that I have all sorts of friends that have gone to see. I'm from Minnesota. The Wild play just because they want to go to. I get to see
a weekend in Vegas,
and I get to Vegas. So
exactly. So that's a weird thing about Florida,
right? Because I actually saw you guys. It was I think it was called Rockfest in Tampa. It was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And you guys opened. It was like I think it was with Avenged Sevenfold and
when they didn't have the PA on for half the sound.
Thank you. I was wondering if you because I don't think there was.
I'm not a stickler for technicalities, but I feel like maybe having the PA on during a band set would behoove.
So I think there was no bass or what was missing?
No guitar, no drums for the first.
Yes, it was the most surreal thing I've seen.
First 3 of 5 songs we played.
Yep. I was like, what am I listening to? Who the fuck is not in? Okay. So you do remember that because
when you're a mega act like Saigon Kick, and you come to town, they pull out all the stops to make sure everything's technically flawless.
Have you? Would you have more there? Or?
No, okay. It was just a very unique situation. I'm
unique is a nice way of putting it.
Huh?
Unique is a nice way of putting it.
I guarantee you guys were so pissed. It was just like
I wasn't. I'm used to kind of. I go into life expecting a car wreck.
Yeah.
So when there's not dismembered bodies after anything, I'm always like,
I like that. That's a good way to look at things. Excellent.
And it's the music.
Yeah.
And the music business is really just a series of groin kicks.
Right. Sure.
With intermittent, I didn't get kicked.
Graze, just like right next to the ball.
A flick, just that kind of.
Just a flick, right.
Phil Varone, your drummer, did you see the documentary they did on him?
Did not watch it. That he did on him.
What's that?
I think he did it on him.
Have you seen any? Have you seen his other movies?
Not really something I put high on my list of must rents. But hey, more power. Look, you know what?
Is that on Netflix?
I don't. If they have a dark web version of Netflix, more power to whatever. I got enough trouble running my own life, making my own decisions. You know what I mean? People do stuff and make decisions and.
I enjoyed the documentary very much, and I've heard him interviewed sometimes. He can be okay.
In fairness, he's a smart guy. In fairness, that version of him I never knew, because that all happened during really the Skid Row time. Yep. When we were on tour, we would drink a few beers and fall asleep. We weren't like a drug band,
So I guess I know the answer to the next question, especially because you said you guys aren't really getting along. I guarantee he's never given you one of his dildos that are fashioned after himself.
I'm sitting on one as we speak.
I saw you moving a little to the left.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. I guess this comes up sometimes. Like I recently saw Extreme. They're great, but that's not one band that's known for an acoustic song like your hit. I guess what was that picked as the main single? I guess what I'm saying is that there's a lot of challenges. Like a lot of people have no idea that Extreme rocks like Van Halen, kind of. You know what I mean?
Like people got into because of that song and they hear that record. And it's
there was literally hordes of soccer moms rioting at our live shows when they realized the rest of the album wasn't that. But you know what? Saying I don't care is not right. It was never part of my mental process. I make music I want to make. If I want to make a bunch of Barry Manilow tunes, that's what I'm doing. If I want to make Meshuggah tunes, that's what I'm doing. It wasn't written as oh my God, let's have a hit. That mentality wasn't. Because if we would have tried to write a hit, it would have failed miserably. We were in Mexico shooting a video for a song on that record called Hostile Youth with the guy who'd done the Jane's Addiction documentary Gift. Got a call from Doug Morris, who's a legendary kind of record label owner guy, and he said, look, this station in Florida started playing this song, and it's exploding.
Right.
It's like selling 10,000 records a week at this point in a very small area, and it's number one in phones, and it's all this stuff, and he goes, and you guys have a hit. So it wasn't like we all sat down and drew up this plan of how to have it happen.
Of course
It kind of happened.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's a song I wrote, touched a lot of people, some illegally, some. And
the Catholic priest of hits.
And it's a good,
terrible quote.
And it's a good thing, At the end of the day, it's a good thing, and I've been able to live my life to this point making music and doing, I don't have a day job, and being creative and dealing, getting a jam with Dave and all these different, and worked with tons of bands on our label like Non-Point, Skindred, Carnival, Sick from the UK, and I'm as lucky as you get.
Right. Are you doing something with Jeff Scott Soto? I think I saw something. What is that?
Jeff and I have been doing these kind of I hate calling it storytellers because it's really Jeff and I trying to make each other laugh. And oh, by the way, there's a crowd and we might do a song or two if we're not making obscure jokes. Show.
Yes. Okay.
We've known each other.
We do that pretty well.
Right. We've known each other forever, so it's been a real. I mean, it's such a goof to go, hey, do you feel like going to be in LA? Let's go to LA, let's go to Chicago. And strange enough, the show's been selling out and people have been really digging it, and it's been the most fun ever. So we've been doing a bunch of those shows as well.
You coming towards Minneapolis at all by chance? Or?
We hope to. I mean, we're going to Denver next week.
I know I can probably find this out on the internet, but
I need to pay attention. We've done a few of them so far, and they've kind of taken us by surprise. Not stadium surprise, but like people have flipped out, they've sold out. It's great. So we're going to expand it, but he's doing the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, okay.
Come the fall or whatever.
Yeah, that whole season.
And then I know he's got some stuff with Sons of Apollo, which is Mike Portnoy, Billy Sheehan, and Bumblefoot. But Bumblefoot, him and myself have talked about doing it more towards spring and doing a more robust version of it. We did some with Bumblefoot as well, and it's just been the most nonsensical, fun I think I've ever had.
Now, I follow you on social media.
I'm sorry.
I just have one request. Can you lighten up a little bit? Yeah.
I decided a long time ago. It sounds like we're going to go in a song. Children are the future. No, but I decided a long time ago that nothing I post on social media is going to be of any worth or value, other than making myself laugh and confusing people.
Yeah.
So there's people who know me who get, and then there's the people who don't know me who like everything I post is like a serious. Thing.
I don't see how anybody can take them serious.
I've gotten some amazing things that we should share with you about. I posted one. This kid who does my art creates these meme GIFs or whatever, of me on different situations. So he did one of me as George Costanza from The Art of Seduction from the Seinfeld. He's wearing the boxer shorts and he's and he did a really good job of it. So this girl started texting me I'm so proud of you not being fat shamed and being proud of your body and being able to do that kind of pose. And I'm like, this is fantastic. This is the whole reason the internet was invented.
Yes, exactly.
I have to agree. I think that's much funner than a lot of the other stuff out there, when the people just get it wrong.
No. I've gotten this really bad habit lately, especially with my humor, is that when I'm making a joke that no one else gets, that's my favorite thing. When everyone's confused and has no idea what I'm talking about, I've become addicted to that awkward silence. Yeah. Even in the live show, I'm happy when people laugh, and they do, fortunately. But when it gets so obscure that no one knows what I'm talking about, you get that weird silence. You guys ever listen to Andrew Dice Clay, the Rick Rubin one, where he's in the little clubs just going nuts? That's my oh my God, the guy has just lost the entire plot, and it's so on the edge of he literally doesn't know what he's talking about or where it's going to go.
Right on.
That's my life philosophy.
Awkward silence. Embrace the awkward silence.
And it's worked out great for Andrew Dice Clay in terms of career.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. Certainly has. Do you have anything else you want to promote before we let you go here?
Just my love for you and your questions. I've done interviews my whole life, and I've never felt as prodded, as thoroughly prodded.
Well, excellent. That's I feel very proud too. Right?
I've definitely. You've touched me in spaces I haven't been touched.
The good thing is we only asked 8 of the 10 questions you already get.
Okay,
you always get every time, right?
Good. Thanks so much for taking the time, guys.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Good to meet you, Jason.